Okay, time to get the Argo fired up. What I've done here is I've disconnected the gas line. I took the fuel filter out. One side of the line is right here, the other side's in there. And what I've done is I've stuck a piece of tubing in that line, and you can see I'm siphoning it out, getting that old cruddy gas out of here in an old can. So there's quite a bit of gas in there. I'm surprised. There's probably a couple gallons, I guess. I didn't think it was that full, but that's old gas and it's not going to run on that. What I've also done up front here is I've just taken off the gas line off the little gas pump right here, and I'm going to blow that out. I'm probably going to do it hillbilly style and just blow it out with my mouth and see what comes out. But what I'm going to do in the back is I'm going to put a rag over that that hose back there so I can see what's coming out. And hopefully some gas will come out of here, get all the remaining gas out. I hope the gas that's in the carburetor isn't in too bad a shape. So I might be taking that apart in a second just to clean the bowl out. Okay, the tank's cleaned out now, so I'm going to start putting this back together. I'll put this fuel filter back in. It has to go this direction. And I blew that out with a compressor. I blew this hose out with a compressor. There was actually quite a bit of gas in it. I blew gas back down into that after it was all empty, so if there's anything left in that, it's down in the tank. Doing it this way because I don't want to take this tank out because it looks like it's a major effort. So let me get this part put together, then I'll go put the hose back on the carb, and then I think I'm going to pull the top off the carb and see what the bowl looks like. Got the fuel filter back on. It only took a second. That was pretty easy. Back here, it's all back together, screwed down. The lines are blown out. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to take off this. I got the top off the carb. And take this small hose out, and I'm going to see if there's any fluid in there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take the top off of here and see how that bowl's looking and see if that's got gook in it or not. So let me take care of that and I'll be back in a minute. I poured a small amount of fuel in the car, plus I sprayed just a little bit of starting fluid in there, and the engine runs just great if it's getting fueled. But I pulled off these lines back here and there's no fuel getting to this point, so I don't know if that's just dry, and I'm not sure if this vehicle has another fuel pump in the tank. I'm gonna have to check up on that. This isn't something I work on every day. What I'm getting ready to do here is I've attached a small siphon hose on here, and I'm gonna try to siphon some fuel up to the front to at least get it up to this little fuel pump here. At least get it started going. We'll give that a try, see if it helps. I got a little fuel to come up the hose to this point, but I think what I have to do maybe is get this pump primed. So I'm going to hook my hose back up to this side and draw some liquid up into this pump. Maybe that's why it's not pumping. So we'll give that a try. I did pour a little more in the carb, just straight fuel, and she ran for a second really good. Battery's dead now, but it is pumping gas out the fuel pump now up into here. Unfortunately, no more battery, so I can't keep on trying to start it. So I'm gonna let it charge up overnight, and I'll give it another shot tomorrow. Battery went dead on me yesterday, so we're back at it again. I got the charger back on it. I think it's got enough charge. Oh yeah, it looks like it's charged again, according to that thing. What I did is I actually took just the very top off of the carburetor so far. I can already see that this thing sat for quite a while, with bad gas in it, and I can already see that there's some icky buildup in here, and that's probably why it's not running. So we're going to tear this car apart a little farther, and we're going to get it all cleaned out and hopefully run it again. I lifted the float assembly out, and you can see, well, maybe you can't see, but whole carb's full of gas. It's kind of icky looking. And then when I lifted the float assembly out, the little needle down here is green and looking pretty ugly, so I think we're going to clean that. I can probably tell you why it wasn't starting. So that's what happens with these machines if you don't use them frequently and you let them sit around with gas in it. Even though I had stable in it, it still get all green and mucked up. So I'm going to take a rag, dip it down in there, get all this gasoline out that I can get. Got it pretty cleaned out down in there and got all the little orifices cleaned out. There was a lot of gook in there that I had to clean, and it's about as good as I can get. Over here's all the little valves and stuff, and I got them pretty much clean, so I'm gonna start putting this thing back together and see if she'll fire up. Got the lower valve in there now. It's down the bottom, can't see it underneath the float bowl. Got the float back in, got the other needle right there, and got the little float needle down in here, all back together. Now I'll just throw the gasket and the top back on, and let's see if we can get this thing started. Get the main body back together. Of course, obviously there's an air cleaner and all that on top of that, but I'm not going to put that on until I know this thing's running. So I'm going to push this out to the front of the garage because I'm a little bit nervous about firing stuff up for the first time inside the garage, so at least I'd like to have it outside the doorway. So I'll push it out there and I'll see if it fires up. Well, I'm going to fume myself out here pretty quick, but there she is in the garage entrance, and I'm not going to push it out any farther because it's raining right now and I don't have the carburetor covered up yet. But start it up. I'm going to let it run for 2 or 3 minutes, get all warmed up, and then I'm going to shut her back down, reassemble it, and call her good. Well, at least it started. It's raining out right now, and I'd really rather make the carb adjustments outside so I'm not sitting in here and all the fumes inside my garage. So I think I'm going to leave that project be for the day. I did put the, kind of hard to see, but it does have a soft top. I put part of it back on just for the heck of it. So that's what you got. It's running again. I guess we're done here.